Hey, what's up, Mistwood Publishing fans? It's S.R. Maury with some Mistwood Publishing news. So, first things first, we have an ebook release coming in a few days on November 30th, if everything goes according to plan. What is it about, you might ask? Well, you probably might not want to read it if you haven't read The Sylvan Mist. That's not me being a bad businessman, that's just me being honest with you. Because quite frankly, you won't know what's going on if you haven't read The Sylvan Mist first. So what it's about is it's the events directly after The Sylvan Mist, at least the first story. See, this is actually a collection of stories. The first one, called The Tower, which is what the whole ebook's name comes after, is the events that take place directly after The Sylvan Mist. It's a novella. It's shorter, it's not a full-length book, but it is directly what happens after. If you want to know, what happens to Elion and Urshka and Gildor and Terran and Orso and Narved, you get the picture. After The Sylvan Mist, this is the story to read. And what makes it even better is you, the fans, voted on what was going to happen. So I put polls on social media, who's going to be captured by the villains, and you guys voted and you selected certain characters, and then I did another poll where you guys voted and you picked which other characters were going to go and save them, and then you did another poll and voted what kind of villains are the ones who did the capturing. And then I went and I wrote it. And then fast forward a few months and, almost a year really, but then you got to select and help me and the illustrator create the cover for this ebook. So this really is a book by the fans for the fans. In fact, on the first few pages it might say, the few, the proud, my fans. That's who it's dedicated to. But point is, it's an ebook that is a collection of that novella and 2 short stories. Now those 2 short stories, you don't have to have read anything that I've written before reading those, because they actually take place before The Sylvan Mist, but they are actually about Elion, Terran, and the gang. So if you have read The Sylvan Mist, it helps. So you can get this ebook by going onto our website, www.mistwoodpublishing.com, go to the shop section, pick it out, pick if you want ebook or Kindle, e-reader or Kindle, and get right away to reading. Or you could, if you wanted maybe early access, we'll see if I get the file quickly enough, you could be a Patreon member in December and get it for free. It's not really free, you still pay for it. But that membership on Patreon comes with other perks than the book. So you get the ebook and the perks depending on what tier you got. And if you are like, what the heck's Patreon? I'll put a link below on a video where I explain everything that Patreon is about. So that's how you can get the ebook. It's only available at www.mistwoodpublishing.com November 30th, hopefully. At the latest, I would imagine December 10th. The next thing is, where we're at. This is the Mistwood Publishing office in development. I'll put a picture up here on the screen, show a little bit broader of a view. But this is where we're going to be. See, I moved out of my apartment, we bought a house, and this room is going to be the Mistwood office, plus the family, study room and library, and basically a secondary living space. But it's all going to be Mistwood Publishing, decorated in Mistwood Publishing colors, because my wife is amazing and lets me do that. But you know what, it's got this fireplace. You can't see the actual fireplace, but we're going to remove this hideous paint, and you know what? If the paint doesn't want to come off, even though we buy the stuff that's meant to do that, I'll figure out some color that looks decent and paint it that. But the point is, it'll look great. Then, this floor, I don't know if you can tell in the corner, you can definitely see in that wide shot that I put on there, We ripped up the carpet because it smelled and it was disgusting. We're going to put down a dark gray, glossy stain. It's going to look really nice and get a nice rug, navy blue rug to go with it, you know, mistwood navy blue. There's going to be a navy blue couch from IKEA back behind this camera. It's going to look great. And my desk will be like right here, and the family desk with the family computer will be over there, and there'll be some bookshelves, and there'll be pictures, and there'll be my swords, and there'll be all this great stuff. And then the walls that you see back here in this gray are going to be a mistwood green, and I'll attach kind of a picture of what that shade of green looks like. So it'll be pretty much like a dark mistwood gray, not super dark. You know, the white border on the ground and the doors. There'll be that shade of green, and there'll be the navy blue accents. We'll probably paint this little wood thing navy blue. Next thing up is the newsletter. We have the fall time. It's that time of year. It's the fall newsletter, which means whole bunch of news that's not going to fit in this already probably too long video is going to be there to read. And how you can get that is just either buy something on Mistwood Publishing's website, subscribe on our website, it's at the bottom of the home page. Email or comment, or private message me your email, whatever you want to do to get that newsletter. But I spend a lot of time making them. They're super classy, and you keep a lot of information. Lots of new information for the fans, if you will. Patreon has been going super well. It's amazing. It's great. We've given out a few of these things, you know, exclusive Mistwood product. Yeah. We have been dropping bi-weekly videos on behind-the-scenes stuff. Members of the Patreon get the ebook that's being released this year for free. And in the future, books and such will also be free if you're a Patreon that month. You know, it's not really free, but you get the book plus the perks that come with that tier. So, I mean, it's pretty much free, right? Right? Anyway, you have all of this great stuff, and it's going to be awesome. We've been given all this merch. We've been, you know, they've had a much more in-depth experience in this whole making of this ebook, and they're going to have a much more in-depth experience in the making of Saga 1 and the transformation of this room and lots of other behind-the-scenes stuff that other people aren't going to have. If you've been wondering why this YouTube channel has been a little bit less frequent, it's because I've been making so many videos for Patreon, and that keeps me busy. Future Patreon content is going to include bi-weekly video series on the religions of Fostra and the magics of Fostra, and lastly, the histories of Fostra. Because you guys have seen this very specific point in history with Elion and Narbad, but there's thousands and thousands of years of history that comes before that. And there are cultures and religions in Fostra that are just mentioned or not even mentioned in the books that you'll get to find out. If that's something you're interested in, you can watch those videos for just $5 a month. That's like a cup of coffee. And you can get access to those videos and everything else that comes with Patreon. Again, if you don't know what Patreon is, I'll put that link to that video where I explain it all in the link or description below. That's it. Do you want backup? What's up, Mir? Anyway, Patreon's got big things looking up to it. This room's got big things coming up. We got the ebook release coming in a few days. And finally, the last news of the day to keep you guys updated. Saga 1, the big thing, the big cheese, the big dog on campus. The next book via me, right? It's coming. I know it sounds like it's really far off because early spring, late winter 2020 feels like a long ways away, but guess what? It's already almost 2019. And again, it's not like Saga 1's coming out 2020 in the fall. It's coming out early in 2020. So that is coming. Be ready for that. That is a book release. It's big, it's intense, it's fun. It's gonna be great. I just finished the third draft of that, sending it to the next editor for an intense line edit. This editor's great, terrific. Other editors have nothing on them, okay? Anyway, it's going to be awesome. I think one thing that the Civil Minister really struggled with was the editing and the grammatical errors. That's not going to be a problem this time. I have some grade A editors on this book. It's going to be fantastic. I've read it more times than I would ever want to, even though it's great. But you know, reading it like 15 times, it does that. But anyway, just lots of great things coming. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be nice and wintry. It's going to be great. So in closing, we got the ebook coming out in a few days. We have Patreon going really well. You should check that out, see if you're interested in that. As always, we have Mistwood products on www.mistwoodpublishing.com. We got some new merchandise that might be coming down the line with Saga 1. We've got this room that will be done, and then there's just so much going on, guys. I just wanted to give you an update because it's been so long. So I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and I will see you guys later. She's like a parent.